Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Tim Shipton. I'm just going to kick things off before we get into our formal program. On behalf of the Cates family and the Edmonton Oilers organization, we're thrilled to welcome you here today to Rogers Place. Very special day for all of us as we welcome our two latest inductees into the Edmonton Oilers Hall of Fame. More to come, but to Doug and Charlie, congratulations on the well-deserved honor. You're both such a huge part of the Edmonton Oilers family. You distinguished yourself both on and off the ice. It's a real pleasure for us to have you guys here and your families as well to celebrate the day. Thank you to all of our distinguished alumni that are here today to join in the festivities. Really makes it special for us to have players from all generations of the team, and it's nice to see so many familiar faces. Al, nice to see you. Been a while, but great to have you here. And others. I'm not just pointing them out, because no, you're a busy guy, so thanks for finding some time in the schedule, Al. Thank you to the selection committee off the top, as always, giving their time and wisdom to this very important honor. I see some members of the committee here today, Ron Lowe, Jim Matheson, and others. Thank you very much for your time. You got it right once again. A thank you to all of the OEG sports and entertainment staff. A lot of people put a lot of time into making today's event a reality, so a big heartfelt thank you from all of us to the team. So I'm going to turn it over now to the official master of ceremonies for the program today, a good friend of the organization as well, someone who also has distinguished himself in this organization and city, both on and off the ice. I'm not really going to read your bio because I think you've heard it before, but Craig Simpson, somebody has given a tremendous amount of time. Two-time Stanley Cup champion, now sits on our Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation board as vice chair. And I know he's a very busy guy with his day job, so always honored that Craig gives the organization some time. So let's give a big Oilers welcome to Mr. Craig Simpson.
Thanks, Tim. Just thrilled to be here today, and great to see ex-alumni, ex-players coming back into this city and getting an opportunity to celebrate here today. You know what, for 5 decades in the making, the Edmonton Oilers Hall of Fame was introduced to honor outstanding contributions or service to the Edmonton Oilers Hockey Club by past members of this organization. The inaugural 2022 class was a Hall of Fame included Oilers legends Al Hamilton, Wayne Gretzky, Jari Kurri, Grant Fuhr, Paul Coffey, Mark Messier, Glenn Anderson, Kevin Lowe, Glenn Sather, and Rod Phillips, all of whom were inducted automatically by virtue of their Oilers banner hanging in the rafters. In addition to the 10 enshrined inductees, the 2022 class included former captain Lee Foglin, who is here today. Hi, Lee. And Ryan Smith. But today we're here to honor two great people, two great Edmonton Oilers, Charlie Huddy and Doug Weight. Charlie and Doug were voted in by this year by the Oilers Hall of Fame Selection Committee, as we were just talking, comprised of former players Wayne Gretzky, Ron Lowe, Louis DeBrusque, Chris Joseph, former Oilers Assistant General Manager Bruce McGregor, media members Jim Matheson, Terry Jones, Bob Stauffer, and Jason Greger, and community members Chief Wilton Littlechild and Shannon Zabados. Today we get a chance to speak with this year's inductees who are down here at the front after we chat with a few of line mates, teammates, and close friends. After the question periods, inductees, alumni, and select members of the selection committee will be available for one-on-one scrums. And of course tonight, the Edmonton Oilers take on the New York Rangers, and the ceremony will be 7 p.m. on the ice, where we'll see you guys get up to the ring above the PCL Loge level here at Rogers Place, and your names will be there with the others. First up, we have a couple of Oiler Hall of Fame inductees and alumni to join us and talk about their experiences with Charlie and Doug. Coming in at a combined over 5,000 NHL games played, 1,014 goals, over 2,100 assists, 3,127 points. Is that more than Gretz combined? I think that's close. 7,257 penalty minutes, 14 Stanley Cups, 3 Norris Trophies, 1 King Clancy Memorial Trophy, and a combined 364 NHL fights. I'm proud to introduce former teammates and friends, Kelly Buchberger, Billy Guerin, Kevin Lowe, and Paul Coffey. If you guys would come up. Coff is always as surprised. You guys will get a chance to ask a few questions if you can. We'll reminisce. Yeah. No mic for Coff. Kev, I'll start with you. I mentioned Charlie, one of the 7 players who had 5 Stanley Cups here. What does it mean to you to see your teammate in that group?
Well, first of all, so fitting, which is obvious. You don't win 5 Stanley Cups without having, great talent as the team did, but it had, guys like Charlie and Fogy and myself, Dave Hunter. I'm thinking of the guys, the lesser guys in terms of the top build players. That's how you win 5 Stanley Cups. And the thing about Charlie was, his combination, the tandem of him and Coff were so perfect for one another. And I don't want to rag on Coff too much, but the fact that Charlie's offense was so underestimated. I mean, the guy scored 20 goals one year. I mean, 20. What would a defenseman score 20 goals get now, Billy? Like 15 million a year or something?
I think a gazillion.
A gazillion, yeah. But most of all, besides Charlie's ability, was just such a great example. Like he was a younger version of Lee Fogelin, married at a young age. Had the steady, straight down the middle. You could always rely on Charlie. The rest of us show up at the rink for practice hungover, and Charlie would from time to time. It's not that he didn't participate, but Charlie, like Fogy, where they were the sort of the foundational guys, and to see this thing come around, I mean, so deserving. Really, really proud to say he was a teammate and a friend, and I'm very happy for Charlie, and looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coff, you've talked about your former partner many times. I think he's talked about getting you in the Hall of Fame. So is this a good payback to get him?
Well, I was going to say, after hearing Kevin there, I guess I got 30 seconds of speech. Because we were supposed to keep it short, but no.
You just used 15.
That's right. Charlie did participate in the off-ice festivities, especially on the road. We were good at that. I always thought that I was the reason that Charlie won Stanley Cups, but apparently not. When I left, he won 2 more. So I guess it wasn't me. No, but congratulations to both you guys. It's a real honor for us to have you guys up there with us, and you definitely certainly belong into your families tonight. It's going to be a great event. But, Charlie was just, to me, one of those guys, undrafted, underrated, under everything except when he put his skates on. Didn't skate well, but could skate. Didn't have I didn't take the body at all, but Charlie didn't take the body. but you could never get around him. He was just one of those guys that played the game the right way, and it was always a pleasure for me to play with him as a partner because we had such a good time on the ice. Whether it be us with a 5-1 lead and me throwing a knuckler in his feet purposely just to see if he could handle it, but we enjoyed playing, and it's a storied franchise here. It's an elite franchise, and it couldn't be that without elite players. And Charlie, you and Doug, welcome.
Well done, Paul. Billy, I know you played with Dougie in the World Cup and in Olympics as teammates, line mates, but your time here as an Edmonton Oiler together with him as a centerman, tell us how special that was, or what did you feel about the connection between you two?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Dougie and I are very close. I said last night at our dinner, being traded to Edmonton, really just kind of it was a time where our relationship just actually, it just grew, and we became closer than ever. These are some of the most fun years of not just of my career, but of my life. And a lot of it has to do with just being able to spend time with Dougie and play with Dougie. And, you know, nothing brought me more joy than to give Dougie open net tap-ins. Watch him forecheck.
Watch him.
You know, grind the game out. But honestly, it was just so much fun. It was so much fun to come to the rink every single day. And like these guys said, this is an amazing franchise. This is, if you're an Edmonton Oiler, it's something special. And those years were just, you know, fantastic. And Dougie was a really big part of that.
Bucky, you've been a teammate with both. You passed on the captaincy from yourself to Dougie here too. What does it mean to see the two of them sitting here in a special honor today?
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, there's no question. And I coached with both these guys also besides playing. But one story about Charlie, I was working out one day and he goes, I'm going to do 2-a-days today. And I'm like, what do you mean you're going to do 2-a-days? He goes, well, you know, they got me playing with Coffey and I got to work both corners now. So anyways, but I want to talk about Charlie first. You know what? I came here really young, and when you're a young kid, you come into this dressing room, it's a little intimidating. And Charlie was so good to me right from the start, and I watched him, and I watched all of them and listened to him for X amount of years. And he was one of the guys that was a true professional. He brought everything to the rink every day. He treated people well away from the rink, and he's a guy that young D should model himself. And I still talk to our D today about the way Charlie carried himself as a teammate and in the community. And with Dougie, you know what, Dougie, besides being a hockey player, he's a close personal friend. He's not married to like Billy is, like to him. They seem to be married always together. But just with Dougie got traded, I don't know if you guys know, but he got traded, we were in New York. He got traded at lunchtime. So he got switched, and the story is that Allison, his girlfriend, his wife now, but his girlfriend then, came to the game and there was no phones then. And she's at the plexiglass and she's looking for Dougie, and she's at the Ranger area and he's not there. But he was, and she's knocking on the glass and he's wearing an Oilers jersey and she's like, I thought you were playing for the Rangers. But besides that, you know what, our friendship, he's lived with us, I've lived with him in New York, and we just have a great bond, and the years that we are here, it's been just a great friendship.
Before we get to Doug and Charlie, do you have a couple questions, anybody? Wow, you guys had good answers, I guess.
I'd like to tell one more little story.
Okay.
Just give you a sense of, you know, the fun times we had. So Charlie and Coff played together, and Fogie and I were a tandem. Doc Gregg and Donnie Jackson were the other pair for a lot of years. Spent a lot of time together. Fogie had bad shoulders and had a tough time jumping over the board, so he typically had to go out of the door, or at least that's what he told us. And so, I mean, this is the kind of stuff we did. We'd be sitting on the bench, and Fogie, and I don't think he'll be disappointed in me saying this, is a very serious guy. I think I was sort of the next level of serious, and then Charlie after that, and then Coff down here in terms of, you know, he's scoring thousands of points and pointing out that my mom got a new purse sitting in the stands. We're playing an important game. So on the rare time in a certain point in the game when I guess the game would be out of hand, Fogie, it would be our turn to go and he's going to change, and Coff would grab his pants and wouldn't let him get out. And Fogie would think like, was he stuck? And he'd be going like this, and then he realized Coff was holding him. Meanwhile, someone's going in a breakaway, and Fogie like, Coff, like, we're off. Like, and Charlie'd be there just snickering and watching this whole thing. I mean, that stuff actually, I don't know if it happens anymore, but it happened in the 80s. What happened in the 80s stays in the 80s.
Spec, you had a question?
Yeah, Billy, you and Dougie came up here. You're a couple American guys coming up to then a very small market Canadian team. Coming up here, different fan base, coming out of, you know, maybe it was foreign to you. What was it like? What did you expect, and what greeted you here?
It was quite eye-opening. I mean, you know, I'm from the East Coast, Massachusetts kid. I played in New Jersey, you know, and where there's, you know, a million sports teams around, and getting traded here, well, in January, that was shocking enough. Flying in here, I just remembered just looking out the window, and it was just completely white. And I was like, what did I get myself into? I landed, and there was media here, and I was like, what is this? The next day, I remember being on the front page of the paper, and I called my wife. I said, no, I'm on the front page of the paper. No, not the sports page, the paper. And it's a little different, but you know, and then I remember going to Dougie and Allie's place that night, having a couple beers, you know, and just talking about it, and it was, yeah, I mean, it was complete culture shock, but I loved it. There was nothing like being a hockey player in Canada. And this is what you want. This is when you're growing up. This is what you wanted, because game day is important. There's nothing else going on in the world except the hockey game, and yeah, I loved it, and it was fantastic. And you know, like you said, Dougie and I being a couple Americans, yeah, we really embraced it, and it was special.